Alright, everybody, welcome back to Major Gaming, and today we're going to be talking about Dead by Daylight and how I personally would rework the twins, the killer from Dead by Daylight. Um, I when I first started DBD, I started right a couple months before the artist came out, I think. I don't remember if I was there specifically for when Pinhead came out, but I know it was before the artist. So I had owned it. I had owned the game for a while, but I didn't really get into it right away. I got into it more around the time artist was like being leaked and stuff like that. Um, at least as far as I remember, it was around like 2019. Um, but when I started DBD, my main or like my favorite character was actually the twins. That was like the first killer I really liked and got into until I realized that the other killers were less annoying, but the twins, annoying to play as, because of all the bugs and shit. But the uh the twins were like my favorite ones starting out because they were unique. They had something to offer. And this is why I'm actually pretty passionate about, how the twins are going to be reworked, and a little worried, but like also excited because they have so much potential to be a really cool killer, but the game just can't handle them. It's so weird, and the way they were set up, it's just so awkward and rushed feeling. Like they didn't think everything through. They were just kind of like, here you go. And it's such a cool idea, and I really hope the twins can get a good rework. I really do. And I think Chucky is the biggest sign that they could fix the twins. Because before Chucky came out, I was like, oh god, what could they possibly do to rework them that they, are capable of doing? Now that I've seen Chucky, I kind of want to talk about how my rework would work and how I would fix the twins. Um, Granted, I'm not a game designer, but I have played a lot of twins matches. I've played high level twins, at least I assume high level twins matches where I went against survivors that were good. I normally play against at least decent survivors. I very rarely go into a game where survivors like don't get at least most of the gens done. Like most of my killer wins are when the survivors are at one gen. So like it's, most of my games are pretty close thing even when I play twins, and I've come back as twins and gotten some good wins, and I really don't think they're weak. I think they are annoying to play as. Victor can be extremely annoying and clunky, and the whole back and forth thing, it can be so awkward. But the killers themselves, they aren't weak. They aren't, some like C tier. They aren't trapper level weak. They're not weak at all. They're actually pretty damn good. It's just they're so awkward you can't use their full potential because they're so weird. So, alright, so before this ends up being too long, let's get into what I personally would do to fix the twins. So, starting off with Victor, alright, fix Victor's collision, for the love of God. The fact that I can be next to a tree and not have the tree in front of me but still hit the tree is ridiculous, okay? Especially when survivors can just run around a rock and you will never get them because your collision is just awful. You'll fly off into Neverland, or you'll hit the particle of air next to a tree. It is so annoying. And if all survivors have to do is just run around a rock, it's so stupid. It is so stupid. So fix his collision, and the fact that he can hit things behind him, oh god, it is disgusting how his collision works. It is gross. It really is. So please, that is like the biggest thing with him, is fix his damn collision. It's awful. Now we get into actually, changing him. Make him third person like Chucky. Exactly like Chucky. Okay, just give him Chucky's camera. So much better. It'd be so much easier to deal with having to line up and everything if I wasn't looking at their freaking ankles and their knees. I don't want to see all that when I'm trying to line up. It makes it so awkward. So yes, make him third person. Just do it. I don't care if it's too Chucky like. I don't care. Just do it. It works. Give Victor a red stain. If you're gonna make him third person, and there are other things that will play into this as to why I say give him a red stain, but give him a red stain because with this rework, he's going to be chasing like an actual killer. He's not just gonna be around like a freaking moron. He will actually be able to chase a survivor down. So he needs a red stain, just like Chucky does. Allow Victor to see scratch marks. Again, he's going to be more of a full-fledged killer. He needs to be able to see where the survivors are. If you want to actually use him, I can't look at red dots on the ground. It doesn't, he needs to be able to actually find and chase a survivor around. He needs scratch marks. See them. Victor can be recalled immediately after pouncing on a survivor. So if he makes the pounce, they cannot keep him longer than you want him to be on their back. They could crush him. They could crush him the normal way. They just crush him same amount of time, whatever. But if they don't crush him, you can recall him immediately. Like, you could pounce, recall immediately. That is how, yeah. And it still injures survivors that are healthy and whatever. Just you can recall him right away. There's no reason for that not to be a thing. I don't understand why he has to be on their back. It's not like it does anything. If you don't want it there, like, it's stupid that you have to wait. It makes no sense. Alright, so the survivor Victor pounced on will be revealed with Killer Instinct for as long as Victor is attached, along with any survivors within 8 meters of that survivor. So it's essentially the same, only now instead of seeing Victor's aura on the back of the survivor, they're revealed with Killer Instinct. So you see their red dot going around. You don't need to see Victor's aura like in a certain meter. It makes no sense. Like, just, because you can recall at any point, they could crush it at any point. Why can't I see where they are, especially when they're revealing other survivors around them? I get the idea of where they are regardless. Might as well reveal the survivor that actually has Victor. It makes sense, and along with other survivors around him. Victor gains a basic attack, but can't down survivors with his pounce. This would probably be the most controversial thing. He should have a basic attack, because trying to run around a rock with his pounce like this, he's like around a rock, is stupid, okay? I would like to be able to just, hit him for running around a rock. It's stupid how he can't basic attack. So, like, if the survivor is running around a rock, you have to, like, pray that you can somehow hit them. It's very dumb. So, he needs a basic attack, just like Chucky. Now, I keep saying just like Chucky, but Victor will not be able to damage generators, break pallets, none of that. He is not a full-on killer. He is just more like Chucky, but he's not Chucky, Hitting an injured survivor with a pounce will just attach Victor to their backs and reveal their location. So instead of downing a survivor with the pounce, you just attach and then reveal what's going on around them. Which, honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think you always need to down a survivor when you're using Victor. I think just knowing what's going on around you is good. Getting info, especially if Charlotte is more usable. So like, I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't, and this helps with the slugging issue because now you can't pounce slug, pounce slug, pounce slug. It's, you actually have to, either M1 or just not use Victor and use Charlotte instead. You know, and M1ing is obviously on certain loops it's going to be harder to do than pouncing. Because certain, obviously again running around a rock it'd be easier to M1. But if the survivor is far away from you and your either option is to pounce and attach to them or M1 them, you have to think like, oh, what's the better option here? It actually makes you think. You're like, oh, I can catch up to them M1 and then they'll go down, or I can attach and then Charlotte could come in, hit M1 down. It's up to you at that point. Whatever's easier in that moment. It makes you actually have to think about what you're doing. Alright. Victor can hold down a survivor in the dying state for 10 seconds. During this time, the survivor cannot crawl or bleed. The survivor can self-recover but can't be fully recovered or healed until by teammates unless Victor is kicked off of them. Victor will still reveal nearby survivors while holding down a survivor. Holding down a survivor instantly switches control to Charlotte. Victor cannot be controlled while holding down a survivor. So, pretty much, Victor downs a survivor, whichever way you want to do it. And then when they're on or M1, obviously, he downs them with the M1. And then they're sitting there, Victor can crawl on top and hold them there. And they can't move for 10 seconds. They won't bleed, so they won't start bleeding out they won't bleed out while they're being held. So you can't use it for that, but you can use it to just hold them there so that once you change to Charlotte, you could walk over there and they won't be, halfway across the map with tenacity or something. Like they'll just be there where Victor held them unless a teammate comes over, kicks Victor off of you, and then starts healing you. Which then at that point you're taking up two survivors' time, so it's actually worth, doing because you hold that one down, another one has to come, or either that or Charlotte comes and picks up. So you're not worried about slugging, you're more or less worried about, just getting there to get the pickup. It'd be much easier. Then, Charlotte will reveal survivors within 5 meters of her body with Killer Instinct while Victor is being controlled. This is the weirdest thing. I don't know why Victor is the only one that can reveal with Killer Instinct and Charlotte can't when she's dormant. It doesn't really make sense to me. They'd both be able to see survivors around them. It's not like they're dead. So, have them both be able to do it. It would help find survivors with Victor and give Charlotte a slightly smaller radius because she'd be bigger, easier to avoid, and she has a smaller meter range where she could reveal survivors. So it's not like a huge thing, but if you're getting that close to Charlotte while she's dormant and you can't see her, you kind of deserve it, Dormant Victor still reveals survivors within 8 meters of him. Normal, whatever. Switching between Charlotte and Victor is instantaneous. For the love of God, I don't know why there's this whole wake up thing. It's so dumb. Please just get rid of that and just make it an instantaneous. Just wake up, get going, get to the survivor. If you don't want the twins to slug, you have to make it so that they're not incentivized to, because the killer is so slow, it's not worth it to walk over after, and then you walk over and then they're already gone. It's like, just make it so that she instantly is usable and can walk and then go to the survivor. And with Victor holding them down, hopefully she can make it there in 10 seconds, pick up the survivor, and be fine, That way Twins players don't have to slug if they don't want to, and still have a chance. Alright, so now, reduce Victor's movement speed to 120% instead of 150%. Reason for this being now, in this rework, he has an M1. You don't need 150% M1 killer. You don't need that. No, 120. Slightly above average because he still will have a red stain the whole time. The reason why Chucky has his 110 movement speed, yes, he's small, but the thing is he can also hide his red stain anytime, well, anytime his hidey ho is active. So it makes it harder for him to be seen. But when Chucky has his red stain, he's not that hard to see. So if Victor has his red stain the whole time and he's doing his little growls, he doesn't need to be 110 because you can see him. You could see his red stain coming, and I think that's okay. I think that's okay. So him being slower would be better, so it's not like he's just charging up to you at 150% speed, hitting you, and then doing it again, hitting you, and then, you're down. It'd be stupid. So 120, maybe 115, but 115, 120% should be okay. Increase cooldown on Victor's pounce attack when missed by 1.5 seconds. The reason being, if a survivor wants to go up and kick Victor after he has pounced, if Victor finishes his cooldown too quickly and the survivor goes up to kick him, he could just M1 and get a free hit, just because the survivor went up to kick him. You still want him to be kickable, that's still a part of him. So, making him kickable means you kind of gotta have more of a cooldown on the pounce. That way survivor can go up and just kick him afterwards. It needs a little bit longer, it needs to be a little bit longer so the survivor can have more time. Maybe 1.5 seconds is too much, but you don't want him to be able to, oh, I'm back now, right as you're going to kick him. That'd be dumb. It'd make kicking almost useless. So if he's going to have an M1, his pounce needs a bigger cooldown so that you can actually take advantage of it and kick him. Victor no longer has a cooldown when dormant. Instead, he can be recalled at any time, but he gains a 20-second cooldown after being recalled, crushed, or kicked. So, pretty much, you can have Victor out the whole match. You don't have to move him around. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to switch back and forth to him. I don't know why that's even a thing. It's not like he's doing anything if he's just sitting there, Yeah, you could switch to him, but then he just gets kicked or something and it's dumb. So no more cooldown when he's just out there doing his thing. He's just sitting there. He can be recalled at any time. It's stupid how once he's out there now, you can't get him back until that timer goes down. It's really weird. It feels clunky and weird to use. I don't know why, because if he's out somewhere and I'm chasing a survivor and I want to use, if I can't get to use him, then Charlotte is an M1 killer. Literally, that's all she is just an M1 killer. And yeah, that's enough sometimes, but sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you need Victor. So recalling him at any point and just having a 20-second cooldown, that way if you're going into a chase, you can just be like, all right, recall him. I'm in the chase. I'm going for 20 seconds. Oh, it's 20 seconds. Now I can actually use him, drop him, and actually, use Victor, who is the stronger chaser in this situation because he's faster and he has more options than Charlotte. And then there has to be a cooldown of some kind. So if he's crushed, after he's crushed, you can't use him for 20 seconds. If he's kicked, you can't use him for 20 seconds. If he's recalled, you can't use him for 20 seconds. That, there should be a cooldown, but it shouldn't be when he's just sitting there and then it's weird now you can't recall him when he's just sitting there. You have to take control of him and then make him go. If you're in the middle of a chase, I don't want to switch to him and then have him find where I was, only for the survivor to be across the map. Like, that's dumb. Why would I want that? It feels awkward. So yeah, that's why I say that. Other than that, that's pretty much my whole rework. It is a lot, it's a lot of ideas, but I think this would make twins a really good killer and a fun killer to use, and more options and more ability to do different things. I think Victor needs to be more like Chucky, honestly. I think he does. I think that would help a lot of problems. And it's funny how, like, when they were describing the possibility of putting Chucky in first person, they're like, "Oh, we can't have Chucky in first person. All you would see is knees and grass." And I'm like, "You literally did that with Victor. You did that. You maybe it wasn't the same devs, but if your philosophy was we can't have Chucky be first person because of how short he is, why did you do it with Victor like 2 years or 3 years prior?" Or 4 years prior. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. And you did it, and you just left him there to look at knees and grass. It's very weird. I don't know why all of a sudden they were like, no. So I'm hoping that means that since they are doing that philosophy of we don't want short killers to be in first person, they're going to change Victor to third person at the very least. I think that alone would help a lot. But now let's change some of the twins' perks, because I think oppression could be a really good perk if you reduce the cooldown to 65 seconds instead of 80. Reduce it by 15 seconds. It's not that strong of a perk to where it needs an 80-second cooldown. It's ridiculous. You barely get use out of it sometimes. Like, when a gen itself with no speed boost takes 90 seconds to do and you got an 80-second cooldown, it's just nah. You can reduce the cooldown to 65, reduce it by 15 seconds. I think that'd be perfectly fine. And now Hoarder, I think Coup de Grace is fine. Coup de Grace is a good perk. I think that one's perfectly fine, just saying. Hoarder. Add aura rating on all survivors within 16 meters of an unopened chest for 10 seconds after the loud noise notification. So, this gives you more options. You don't just get a loud noise notification across the map because someone opened a chest. That doesn't help anything. So, if you are chasing a survivor and another survivor opens a chest, yeah, you know where they are. But then if you're near a chest and you're in chase, 16 meters, that survivor's aura is revealed to you, so it actually helps you. And there are more chests on the map, so the likelihood is, yeah, you probably will be within 16 meters of a chest. And you can see their aura in chase for what would I say? 10 seconds? Yeah. That would be semi-helpful. Still very situational, but, it's better than just getting a noise notification across the map just because, someone opened a chest. And by the time you get over there, it ain't going to help you much. So this would actually, kind of help you no matter what, whether you're near that person or not, It would give you something. But yeah, so this is my twins rework. I hope y'all like my ideas. I think I came up with something decent. I think that the twins have so much potential, but they're just not being given that potential. So, yeah, I would really appreciate if y'all like this to share it with Behavior, even though I'm sure they're just going to do whatever it is that they already plan on doing, because they've been working on it for like 5 years, or whatever, how long it's been. But, I think that this could be something cool. So, or maybe future ideas just in case this rework doesn't work out, because Behavior is either great or awful. There's very little in between. It's either they do a rework that's amazing, or they do a original Trickster rework, or the original Onryo rework where it's weird, or they do a Billy rework where apparently it's like amazing, or like a Skull Merchant rework where, it's better, So yeah. But alright, that'll be it for this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever. If you got feedback, let me know what you think. I'd really appreciate it, and everyone have a good day.